So you're hanging wallpaper with horizontal lines. This happens to be a leather 21-inch from Rash, but it could be anything. It could be grass cloth with horizontal lines. After you've hung 10 or more linear feet horizontally, you'll notice that your lines want to start dipping. And so, with the help of a laser level, we have kept our lines straight. But between this edge and this edge, we got 21 inches of horizontal lines. And the point of level that this is slightly different than the point of level that its left counterpart is. And that's something as a paper hanger you know, and the manifestation of this reality can be seen at the top and bottom edges. And that is one of the reasons why we do not put our horizontal lines too close to the ceiling or too close to the bottom. And so, let me show you what happens here. Bring them into this connection right here. Let them see that. Now, show them this one. Show them this one. Look what's happening here. What's this? Well, if I get these buckles out by pulling my paper down, it'll be nice and straight. But all my lines will be off by at least 1/8 of an inch or more. Very important. This doesn't happen on the first or second sheet. This happens when you're almost done and you're ready to go. So I want to show you. You need to know where to displace your buckles. And these are buckles, and what I'm doing is displacing them. You see, the first thing to do is get your lines connected. We'll worry about this afterwards, because if we deal with the buckles first, our lines are not going to meet up. Number one, match your lines. And I mean all of them. And so then you have this. You see the movement I'm going with? I'm not moving this up and down, because what would happen to my lines if I moved the paper down? My lines. So what I'm doing is I'm displacing my wallpaper that's out of whack at 45-degree angles from my lines. I'm not going straight across. That's going to cause vertical buckles. I'm putting this wallpaper into position at 45-degree angles. Some people call it a Christmas tree movement. Trust me when I tell you, if you go straight up and down, halfway down your wallpaper, it's going to be off. And you're going to say, the manufacturer, the paper's messed up. No. It's the way you're moving the paper. All right? Now, another thing with this wall covering is, don't try to get every little bubble off of the paper or out of it. Don't do that. If you have a little paste bubble, leave it. you're going to stress the top layer of the paper when your bubbles are going to disappear anyway. There's a difference between an air pocket and a paste bubble, and I have a video on that. Trust me when I tell you, the paper tightens up and pulls against the wall, and your paste bubbles disappear. Look at this buckle here. That's a big thing. You see, if I were to pull this down, right? Your temptation would be this, if you're a new paper hanger. Let's get it out. You pull that down, you're an inch off, an inch at least. Look at all of this wallpaper. It becomes a real skill to deal with these things and still have your line straight, okay? So, show them this cut, just come up close.
Just to break the edge.
Right, I'm feeling. If you're new at this, just make a pencil mark. You see, I'm feeling it. I already see the impression of this, and I'm even making an impression of the socket. But, 2 hands, penetrate it, screw down. You can shake your knife this way. If you shake it, you don't go too far. Penetrate, just slice. Don't try to slice the whole thing. Go in 2 directions, halfway one way, the next half the other way. All right, and so you can always cut more off. Don't try to take too much off in the beginning. I hate doing sockets. And you folks from the UK know I don't like it. What is that? Okay. Now let me tell you something else. If you have an unreasonable client, a day or 2 after the installation, I can see seams. First of all, tell your customer, well, your wallpaper has seams. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something that happens with this wall covering. Okay, come in close at my seam. Show them my seam. Real close. Yeah, this, you wanna show them this. Okay, so that looks perfect now, right? The seam? Well, in 72 hours, you're gonna be able to fit a human hair in there, okay? So, it's a good idea to tell your customers, first of all, your wall covering has seams. Who said you weren't going to see them, you know? Because some people are extremely unreasonable. And that's the closest you're going to get that seam. Just bring them in, bring them in. Just show them this line right here, this seam. That's the closest you're going to get it. But when it dries, the water escapes from the glue. And what do you think happens when water is... What would happen if you put a blanket on top of a huge ice cube? After a while, the blanket would settle, right? It would move because the water melted. Well, when your water is displaced from the glue and your wall covering was in place and then something left the wallpaper, you're going to have a little movement, and I mean slight. So you have to be able to explain that to people who think you're a magician. Okay? We're no magicians here. Now, we try to be. Show them what I'm doing to this. I'm displacing this on angles from, I'm displacing it on 45-degree angles from my horizontal lines. Okay. Don't try to get these lines out by going straight across. gonna happen. Okay, it's true, I'd use a little sweat. Give my hand some traction. Oh, by the way, I appreciate, I forgot to thank my viewers, especially in the UK, particularly those who are in my Florida division. Thank you for voting for me for the best wallpaper hanger in the state of Florida. I don't think I deserved it, but after 780,000 votes, I appreciate it. What can I tell you? Don't think I deserve it, but I'll take it. Okay, so we got a real tough one here. So what am I doing? I'm sharing this buckle with the space above and below it because it's too much to put all in one direction, okay? Look at how I'm sharing it. I'm even making it go down here. Folks, please do it this way. Wow. Some wallpaper, you know? Sometimes I'd like to tell the manufacturer, you hang this stuff. You hang it. Must be nice when you're sitting in an office and you say, yeah, you know, you hang it. Okay. My glue helper didn't put glue on the edge, so I'm not going to be able to get that in place because there's no glue behind it. Okay, we're going to have to take a pause. Please go get the roller with glue on it and please bring it back and I will hold the... You're going to take the camera to the glue? Okay. And we'll just hold it right here. So we need to put some more glue over here because to really get these this issue taken care of, you need it to be wet. You're not going to be able to get out these buckles unless it's wet. I would even suggest that we use water too. Do we have a spray bottle with us? Hey, you take the camera.
It's a little wet.
You take the camera.
It's gluey.
All right, just where's that sponge? Do we need this coloration on the wallpaper? All right, I think we're good with that. So now we have some. I'm just going to. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to improvise. I throw a little water behind this because it's going to be easier with this. Okay, now with water, watch how much easier it is. All right? Don't panic. If you have to do it yourself, first of all, if you want to get this wall covering, just put a note in the comment section. This is from Rash, R-A-S-C-H. 14 bucks a double roll, down from like 30 something, and it's leather. I hope everybody can see the positive effect of having added water to this sheet. Okay, one last look. Another thing I want to tell you is this. This tool is, if you were to, now that you have a lot of buckles that you have to displace, there's the risk of making this point and this point lacking in level by at least 1/8 of an inch. Multiply that by 3 sheets, what do you get, right? you could easily be off an inch in no time. And that is what the professional keeps in mind when he starts this project, okay? He knows that with linear patterns, particularly horizontal patterns, they're very unforgiving. And this is the only thing you gotta keep in mind. Keeping your horizontal lines level. All right, let me give it a wash down for you and show you how we did. Okay. Alrighty. By the way, the instructions say, do not let water touch this. Just so you know, many of the wallpaper products come with directions that are written for multiple wallpapers that the company makes. And so it'll say, do not get glue on the face of this. Meanwhile, they're talking about their grass cloth. And, you know, it's just, I guess they save money, but they don't even tell you, if you're hanging out grass cloth, follow rules 1, 2, and 3, etc. You just have to figure it out. But if you're a homeowner, you'll be like, oh, I can't get glue on this thing. And you'd be wrong. All right. Alrighty. How's your lighting? You can see well?
Let me get closer. Let's see if I can.
Don't be worried about these little lines. They literally come out when it dries. Of course, always going to put the blade on the outside of your spatula. Okay. I mean, look, you can become like professional at this after one wall. You just get the hang of it, you know what you gotta do. There aren't many principles involved in this stuff. By the way, one other tip. You see this edge? Now let's think, what's on the edge of this thing? Come in closer, or at least zoom in. What's on the edge of it? It's glue, right? What happens to glue after it dries? It gets hard. If you take a lunch break or you come back the next day and you have glue on, let me just show you. Show them my finger there. Can they see that? What's on my finger? Put it in the light. Oh no, they can't see it. It's silhouetted. Just take a look at that. See what's on my finger there? That's all glue. Look. Let me show you again. Look. I'm just going right on the edge of my wallpaper. You see all of that glue there? Now, why do I even mention that? If you don't do this to the edge of your wallpaper, if you take a break and that glue dries, you'll come in the next day and say, why aren't my seams matching up? Well, you have an imperceptible layer of glue here because it's pretty transparent. And you're like, this is thicker. No, you left the glue dry on the edge and then it pushed your wallpaper up. You gotta clean this edge. You gotta get it off. Okay, I just emphasize it because these are all mistakes that I made. Okay, classic example. Can you see that in your camera?
Yeah.
Don't sweat it. That can stay. That's a paste bubble. I'm serious. I'm gonna get it out, but don't sweat it. I don't want my viewers going back to their paper and working this thing out. What's gonna happen is when you walk away from it, like several feet away, you'll see, what is up with this over here? That's because you took this thing. What do you think that does to it? After a while, it can only take so much friction, right? So I don't want it happening to you. Always check your spatula for scratches. Okay. Because I'm 6'7", I can easily reach the ceiling. But in case you're short, you definitely want to have a ladder for this. Don't sweat the air bubbles, the paste bubbles, I mean. Somebody's gonna say, one sheet, 15 minutes. It's not one sheet, 15 minutes. It's one sheet and 10 minutes of instruction. That's really what it is. And they're usually from, New York. Now they're in Jersey, Manalapan or something, or the shore. Everything is the shore, or something like that. This guy, that's all right. You people from Wisconsin and Missouri are so nice. Thank you so much. I love your videos. They never have a bad thing to say. Okay. So there you have it. Tips of the day, number 1, to keep your lines straight, particularly on your 4th, 5th, and 6th sheet, or toward the end of your wall. Laser level. If you don't have one, you're out of luck. No, it's a little more difficult. You want to be aware, get yourself a 4-foot level, measure, keeping your line straight. You would want to simply measure all across this thing, and then make a pencil mark on the edge of your wall covering with a mark and say, this is where this line has to be. I don't care how bad it looks when you attach it, that's where it's got to be. And you put a little piece of tape here, so you have the tape and the pencil line. Number 2, to get the displacement off of the wall covering, you do not go straight across. You want to go up and down. Why? You're sharing the displacement of the volume of the wall covering with the points above the line and below it. If you try to do it all across, guess what happens? You see this? Can they see this little wrinkle here that I need to get out? You're going to cause a wrinkle on your wall covering, and you're going to smash it if you're not careful, and it'll never come out, okay? So that's what'll happen. It's like a wrinkle. You ever iron a shirt, right? And then you get a wrinkle, and you steam it into position. You know what I'm talking about. Try to get that out now. Okay, folks, I think I'll end it here. Thanks for voting for me for Florida's best wallpaper hanger. I really appreciate that. And as of the 15th of this month, my last name will have been officially changed to Wallpaper. So thank you very much, and I appreciate all your support. See you on the next one.